Well, hello there, and welcome back to another fun-filled day here on the Wednesday edition of I'm Kinda Sketchy on YouTube.com. It is Wednesday, so that means whatever I come up with, fantasy or whatever. Today we are doing the fourth installment of The Struggle of Bohesus. Don't forget, Saturdays do mean cartoons on Saturdays. Saturday cartoon edition here, but for right now, this is fantasy and whatever Wednesday. So maybe I'll call it whatever Wednesday. That sounds pretty good. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And do let me know what you think about this whole story mode that I'm in, telling the struggle of Bohesus. This is part 4. That does mean it's the end of his story. I do have another one lined up, which will continue the saga into my world. It won't deal with struggle of Bohesus, but it'll be, it'll lead from him into another story altogether. So let me know if you like the story mode. If you don't, I don't know if you like this multiple smaller drawings in one thing, or if you want a bigger, epic, more detailed drawing, just one image a week. So let me know in the comments below if you like that too, because I gotta know so that I can, so I'm not just flying blind here. Okay, please let me know, and I look forward to your comments and. So let's get on to the story, shall we? So, when we last left Bohesus, he was looking out over the salt flats, and his memories flooded with emotion for his beloved Serap. He looks down at the flats and sees a cluster of small spotted firelights flickering in the distance on the flat floor. Campfires? Dragonian campfires? But no. Dragonians don't do much on the ground, at least not in the flats. Bohesus sniffed the air and caught a faint trace of campfire smoke. He knew he had found the raiders. He decided not to keep the camp he was going to pitch, and he led his steed down into the path that cut through the cliffs and made it to the salt flats. He knew he would have a much better chance of catching the raiders if he advanced upon them under the cover of darkness. He was, at best, about an hour behind them, but he knew if he waited until dawn, they would have a much better chance of gaining ground, and he would have a much harder time to keep up with them. The flats were, as they suggest, flat, and made a great passage for the steady horse. Bohesus pushed his steed, pushed him ever onward, and covered the distance swiftly under the cover of the rising night sky. The smell of campfires grew strong, and the laughter of drunken men started to fill the air and echoed across the crystallized flats and the canyon walls that lay just to the south. Bohesus approached the camp and saw several men staggering about, and to the right he can see a silent, still group of figures around a low campfire. There were also a few straggling men silhouetted by campfires, spotted throughout. Bohesus figured this must be where his captives, including his Serap, had been held. He crept through the night and got close, and he stayed in the shadows, behind crates and barrels, and between tents and tapestries. This camp was more than just a temporary one-night engagement, but Bohesus saw her, his beloved, and knew that it was where he would make his stand. Bohesus crept up behind one of the guards that stood next to his Serap. He could smell sludge rum and bad tobacco. Bohesus' nose twitched as he grappled him around the neck from behind, dragging him to the shadows. Silently, in little struggle, came from the guard that was obviously drunk. A nearby guard grumbles and gets up. He had spotted Bohesus. He had spotted him with the others, and trembled to get his blade ready. A second guard followed to see what had been seen. By the first, they were both drunk. They were both struggling. They were both staggering about. Bohesus drew his sword and ready for repair. The raiders were Orkesh Khan, and they shouted out in their kin speech. Bohesus didn't know the language, but he could tell that they were not happy to have him here at all. Bohesus raised his shield to block a strike and stabbed the other in the ribs. The Orcish Khan let out a shriek, a gravelly pitch, and alerted the camp as he fell to the earth. The Orcish Khan, the other one, took his axe high and was about to hit Bohesus hard with his thick-bladed axe head, when it was scooped up by a rapturous beast from above, and the axe embedded its heavy head into the crusty salt earth. Bohesus looked down at the cracked earth, and then looked up and saw several shadowed figures swooping through the air. Screams and yells spotted around the camp as dark figures fell, crumpled to the ground, with shocking thuds and shriveling squeals. Bohesus scrambled to free Sarap and looked into her eyes. They embraced, and as they both got up and held one another, while the shadowy figure beast seemed to not pay them any mind, Bohesus returned and saw a group of men standing before him. They were not Orcish Khan, but Dragonians. One stepped forward, and he spoke to the Doggart in his native language. Go free. Take your women and children. We know of Red Rock. Go take your peoples and be safe now. We detest raider camps here in our lands. Who are you? Asked Bohesus as he held Sarap near. My name is Dracon. Fare thee well, Bohesus. Well, that does conclude the story of the struggle of Bohesus. I do have another storyline lined up, like I said, and it will follow Dracon, the Dragonian. If you feel inclined to wish to hear the continuing story of my world in this venue for right now, let me know in the comments below. Please let me know. That's how I figure out what I'm going to do next here. If you comment, I'll know what you want. So please help me out, and don't forget to hit all those buttons. And I'm Logan Campbell, and I am your artist, and I'm kind of sketchy. So until next time, I'll catch you later.